Good morning, warriors. God's prepared warrior here. Hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday today. We are halfway through the week. Is it me, or does it feel like the days go by so fast? I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm aware more than I was when I was younger, right? When we were younger, we used to just not even care about time or anything. But anyway, we're halfway through the week, and I'm always thankful for when it gets time to the weekend to take a break, to be able to spend time in the Lord and with family, and because sometimes we just work so hard during the week. So it's a late day for me today. I stayed late at work yesterday. And on Saturday, my boss was like, "Hey, Fernando, just come in today at noon." I'm like, "Great, that's perfect. That means I get to sleep a little bit more." So, yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about something today. I posted out today. If you haven't looked at the reels or the shorts or TikTok, yesterday here in the city where I live, some children were almost abducted by somebody, and it came out on the news. It's been posted on social news, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and also kind of talk about these so-called hoax school shootings. Well, if you didn't know, there was a shooting this morning in Minneapolis, and the shooter, I believe, was taken out, and there are several victims. I'm not really sure if there are any casualties, but I know that there are several people that have been injured in this event. And so me and a friend of mine have been talking a lot about this, because we last week, was it last week or maybe on Monday? Maybe it was on Monday. We seen in the news a lot of schools, a lot of other places that where active shooter situations were called in, and they all turned out to be like hoaxes, or they were fake. So in all of these places and in all of these incidents, first responders responded, right? They responded with force. I mean, everybody came out, and so and it's right. That's what should happen, right? But in every one of these, at the beginning of the week, it turned out to be fake. So I listened to one of them speaking yesterday that even if it is a hoax, they are going to respond, and so they're going to take every single call as an emergency, and they're going to look at it in that way. Guys, forgive my camera. I'm not holding it, and it's on a new capture device, but it's still kind of wobbly, so the road is kind of weird. These things are happening, and then today there was a real active shooter situation there in Minneapolis. And so I just want you guys to be aware that we can no longer live in our world like we used to, right? Just this week, here in my area, children were walking to school and from their house, and somebody tried to pick them up. And so because the children were loud and stuff, they were kind of like skittish, I guess, and took off. But they were almost abducted. So, guys, man, I don't think it's safe anymore to allow your kids to walk to school. I mean, unless you live right next door to the school. It's I guess it's okay. I still probably would walk them myself if that was the case, because we don't live in a world anymore where we can do that. I remember when I was growing up, my parents both worked, and I got on the bus and rode the bus, but I remember that my bus stop was far. I remember that I had to walk to the bus stop, like really far, and which for me when I was little was maybe maybe 2 or 3 blocks, but still, that's a long walk for a kid, right? But back in the day, there was no crime like there is today, and so we have to stay vigilant. We have to make sure that our kids are okay and that they are going to be okay, right? And so I think it's safe to say that we don't live in the times that we used to, where you could just allow your kids to go. Even as I grew older, then began to ride my bike to school, which was further for me on my bike, because I went beyond the bus stop, and so I rode my bike to school. I remember that. It's kind of hard today to even be able to do that, especially in the city that I live. I always see reports on the news about how many people have gotten ran over crossing the street, or riding their bike, and they were killed because the person just didn't see them. And so our world is in a hurry, and it's so much in a hurry that it doesn't pay attention to what is happening around it. And so I will say that it is important for all of us to stay vigilant in our world. We can no longer go to the ATM anymore, because you can be robbed at the ATM. It's happened here where I live. You can't pump gas anymore, because there's been videos of people pumping gas, and all of a sudden now they're surrounded by 3 or 4 guys, and they're robbing them right then and there. You can be at a stoplight, and all of a sudden now you're being carjacked. And so it is just getting worse and worse and worse. And I will say, thinking ahead, being vigilant, right? We are about to hit September, right? I call September the last month to the race to the end of the year. That's what I call September, because October comes, you have all of your holidays. You have November come, you have all of your holidays. You have December come, and it's all your holidays. And so there's this great push after September to be in the store, to be getting ready for those holidays, to be buying gifts for Christmas, and then there's a mad rush getting closer to those times where people are just in a hurry to get the things that they have not gotten yet for those occasions. So guys, I will tell you, if you are prepared, you're ready for Thanksgiving. Christmas might be a little different, but we have the ability to order online. But at the same time, we have to fight the porch pirates, right? Because we know that porch pirates will that's their harvest season, right? When you look at it in that way. And so we gotta stay vigilant to that and be prepared. So, just looking at these two situations, we should be asking ourselves, are my children safe, right? Are they safe going to school, and however you get your kids to school? Are they safe, getting on the bus? Are they safe getting off the bus? Are they safe waiting for the bus, right? So just be vigilant for your kids, because it's important to have those conversations with them when they're not with you, right? To talk to them about stranger danger, right? I mean, that's what's talked about in schools, and that's the communication that they understand. And so it's opportunities like that for us as parents to be able to sit down with our kids and say, this is what is normal, and if this happens, this is not normal, and somebody needs to know, because we don't want our kids to go through something and then they don't ever share what happened, or they don't know that because they're so afraid to kind of share what happened, right? So guys, it's so important not just to stay vigilant with our kids. It's not just, it's so important for us to not just stay vigilant for ourselves, but we need to pay attention to the things that are happening around us. And so this is why I'm so adamant about us being prepared. And when I talk about preparedness, it's not always about food and water and things, even though that is part of it. But I always look to find what are those things that we maybe forget to prep, or maybe we don't even think about prepping those things. This is one of them, right? Is making sure that our children are okay. Because I keep seeing how, children are being taken from their homes, how they're being just snatched up. And we have to be vigilant to that thing and to take care of our kids. So, just wanted to share that with you today. News on that shooting in Minneapolis, check it out for yourself. And just know that we have to have just a larger eye on things when it comes to where we're going, what we're doing, and for our kids, because our kids are being abducted, and we know that this has been a problem, and it goes way back. So guys, I will say, if you're going to prepare to take care of your children to the utmost. When I mean that, I love my kids and I will protect them from anything. And I love my grandkids, man. Anybody touches one of my grandkids, they're gonna have to answer to me, right? Forget the court system, forget the police. You're gonna need the police when I get done with you. But yeah, so guys, just stay vigilant. It's so important for us, because nobody's gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Even if you have to call the police, there's a wait time. I've called the police. I used to work security when I was in college, in seminary, and there was a couple of times that I had to call 911 while I was working security on campus, and there were a couple of times that I was put on hold. Yeah, who can fathom that? I was put on hold. Maybe it was, not even more than a minute, but still, seconds count sometimes, right? And so I remember I've never forgotten those days of being told that I'm in a queue. So, we have to take care of our family. We have to not just protect them physically, but we have to protect them spiritually. And we need to have those spiritual conversations with our family, with our kids, and to help just build their life on scripture and things like that. So, train up a child in the ways of the Lord, and they will never depart from it. This is a promise in the Bible. And so, this is true, because this was me. My parents taught me all about God. And there was a time that I did leave, but God brought me right back. So I'm a living example of that Bible verse. And here I am today, telling people all about God and how God can just change their life if they just choose to have Him in their life, in their heart, and as their Savior. And so You know, guys, it's time for us to stand up to these things that are happening and protect our families. And I would just challenge you to do that 100% with your families. Protect them at all times and make sure that everything is on the up and up, and everything that they're doing. You know, we have to have those conversations. Have those conversations. All right, guys. I am on the road here, and just headed to work. So be safe out there, and happy Wednesday, and hope to see you tomorrow morning on another video. God bless you guys.